Hello everyone and welcome to Ian's Bricks. I'm Ian and today I'm back into my Lego room, although as you can see not a lot of Lego at the moment. So I've been having a few sort of ideas and thinks about how to sort of make this room better. It's a very small room but we've obviously got this window over here which I need to do something with, and also I don't like the walls. I don't want to spend sort of too much time painting and things like that. So the idea that I've had is to get some wallpaper. So this is sort of a sky and clouds wallpaper, and the idea is to fit it to the walls temporarily. I don't want to be pasting them to the walls and have to take them off at future. I don't want to sort of do all of that kind of stuff. So I've got an idea to sort of attach these to the walls, and also what I've got, you can probably see this huge piece of cardboard here at the side, and the plan is here is to basically cover that in the wallpaper and stick that over the window. I've also got the blind to take down. There's a shelf behind me here which needs to go down, and what I'll also need to do, take out all the tables again and all the stuff underneath it, so clear that all out so I've got a clear space. So I've got quite a lot to do. First of all, I sort of want to show the idea of how I'm planning to attach the wallpaper to the wall. I'm hoping it's going to look okay. I'm hoping it's not going to look sort of dreadful. That's my fear, but this is the plan anyway. So what I have some of this Scotch blue tape here, and the idea is to attach that to the wall first, a bit like masking tape, but it's sort of a little bit different. Masking tape is sort of very widely available in the UK. I've never tried to use this before, so we'll see what that's like. And I've also got some double-sided tape, plenty of that as well. And the idea is to fit this to the wall, put this tape on top, and then attach the wallpaper on top of that, so I can hopefully peel that off at a later date. This should hopefully come off the wall quite easily, but I'm just obviously hoping it's strong enough. So let's give that a go and see what that looks like first. I'm going to do a little test with a piece of this wallpaper. So I've attached 4 pieces of the blue tape to the wall first, and they do stick on quite well. What you do notice, obviously the wall isn't completely flat. There are a few bobbles and things on it, so I've kind of pushed that down. The good thing is this stuff should come off relatively easy again once I'm finished, and not sort of peel off any wallpaper or make any holes in the wall, which is great. And over the top of that I put some double-sided tape. So the idea is that I'll be peeling this off. That seems to come off relatively straightforward, and then I want to stick the wallpaper to that, so let's see how that all looks. There we go, it's all stuck, and it's actually staying up better than I thought it would be now. I know I've only got a small piece on there, it was just a trial out. It does sort of seem to stay on reasonably well. Obviously I can peel it off quite easily. The double-sided tape sticks to the back of the paper, and it's sticky enough so it'll go back on if you need to readjust, which is brilliant. I'll probably need to stick a few bits in the middle of the wallpaper as well as I'm doing it, just so it doesn't bubble out, because obviously wallpaper, as you know, comes on a roll and it's all sort of wound up, but that's pretty good. I'm pleased with that. Now obviously it's going to be quite a big job to do all of this room. As you can see, there's a lot to do. The good news is I don't need to go all the way to the floor, so all I need to do is make sure that I go sort of just underneath the table, that kind of area there, so that's pretty good. So I'll kind of mark that off on the wall. To be quite honest, it's just above this awful pipe here, so if I attach it just above there it should be fine. And obviously what it'll do as well, it'll cover all these horrible holes up in the wall. Obviously I need to get rid of that. Some more holes over there. So the wall's pretty tatty really, to be fair. There's a screw in the wall there which I'll probably need to take out. So I've got a bit of work to do as well. And also of course I want to cover this huge piece of cardboard as well and attach it in the window so that it blocks the window off, and hopefully that should work pretty well. But I'm pretty impressed with how that looks as well. It's kind of nice wallpaper. I'm just going to need to make sure that I line it up because the clouds here and here sort of match up there, so I'm going to need to be careful that I do that. I'm not the best wallpaper or DIY person in the world, so hopefully it'll work well. So next thing to do, clear out this room and move everything so it gives me the space to get this wallpaper in. Right, that's everything removed. As you can see, I've still got a bit of junk down there, but I think I can manage to get sort of round this without having to move all of that. So everything's pretty clear. I've moved all the screws and everything. The blind's gone as well. So I think the plan is to start in this corner here. There's actually should be 2 widths of wallpaper. The line is, I just made a little mark on the wall there. It's going to be a bit of a bodge job. I say I'm not the best at DIY, but I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to start from this corner, put the other one that way, and then go round the corner. And obviously the tricky bit is sort of round the window. So I'm going to put one piece up and see what it looks like. So here we have all the pieces of tape on the wall, all the way to the top, nicely put on. So let's put the double-sided tape on next. That's all the tape on. So now the tricky bit, attaching the wallpaper. Wish me luck. There we go, so it's attached. Now I admit it's not the best job in the world at all, it really isn't, but I think it looks better than the original wall. You can see there's a few little corners and things, and it kind of lifts up a little bit at the side, and the top's not completely flush with the ceiling, but you won't be looking at that too often. It's just a temporary kind of thing to make the Lego room look a little bit better. So let's get the piece next to it up in this space here and see what it looks like when we have two bits next to each other. That's the second piece done then. It looks okay, it's not the best in the world. Obviously we have the issue with the gap because it's not sealed up to it, but I think if you sort of just looking at it at a sort of a quick glance, I think it kind of looks okay. So what I need to do now is continue round the rest of the room and finish it off, and hopefully it'll look pretty good when I'm finished. I might also put another piece on this side as well, although my Lego City only sort of comes up to here. I might just stick another piece on here just to sort of finish that bit off. So we'll decide that in a bit, but yeah, let's crack on and hopefully get the rest finished. So there we have it, it's all finished. It's not the best job in the world, I'll have to admit. I'm not the best at DIY. Some of the joins are better than others, and don't forget this is only just stuck down with tape. So yeah, I'm never going to get a perfect job, but I think sort of the general idea, it looks a lot better than it was. Obviously it just runs out here. I didn't do this bit at the moment, maybe I'll do that later. I've got some more paper. I bought 2 rolls, I'm glad I did because one wouldn't have been enough. So you see the joins are a little bit rubbish. If I sort of get close in, you can see some gaps in here and certainly in the corner. This one seems to have joined up pretty well. That's good, and I've kind of made a bit of a mess around the window. I will be filling the window with something in a moment, in a bit. You can see it's dark outside, it's taken me all day, and I've made a complete hash of this bit down here. I kind of, the paper ran out, I don't know what I did, but I've stuck that there. It'll have to do for now. I have got extra paper if I wanted to really sort of finish it off a little bit better. So I'm quite pleased with how that looks. I say not brilliant, but it's better than it was, and it should hopefully fit the Lego City. Once the Lego City's in, the tables sort of up to about there, and you've got the buildings at the back, it should just hopefully blend in quite nicely and look a lot better than it did anyway. So next job for me is getting my piece of cardboard covered in some more of this paper, and hopefully I can sort of somehow just sort of push that in to the window without sticking it too much. So let's have a go at that and see how that looks. So that's my window covering then, just basically a piece of cardboard with some of the wallpaper around it. It's not a bad job, there's a bit of a gap there on it, but it's not perfect, but it kind of works. So yeah, so this is my Lego room. So trick now is to get the tables back in. I need to get all the junk underneath as well first, and let's see what it looks like with the tables in. There we have it in, tables back in. It's a bit of a faff to get them back in. I've had to put some extra cardboard down just because the levels weren't quite right, but I've got the levels pretty flush now all the way round. There is a little bit of a gap there, which I'm fine with because it's between plates. We've also got this gap at the back, which I always knew I'd have. It's just 3 pieces wide, so I just need to make sure I'm not putting anything too heavy on there. But there's got to be the backs of the building, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. So yeah, altogether pretty good. So the next step is to basically get all of the plates down and try and figure out how many plates I need. I'm pretty much going to use most of the plates I've already got from the different modular building sets that I have, because I won't be using those in the actual build. I've got some alternates for that. So let's see if we can figure out the best sort of layout of the actual Lego plates so we can fill out this whole space. So as you can see, I've laid out some base plates on the table. The slight issue that I have, as you can see here, is that this gap here in between is just slightly more than 16 stud, which is really annoying. What I do have are these here in this little bit here. There's not enough to kind of fill the whole thing, but they are really old. As you can see, it's very discoloured. This is a nice shiny new grey one, and this is the old horrible grey colour that they used to have, which is all faded and nasty. It's not even from a set or anything. So what I'm going to try and do is to cut these Lego pieces. I know you should never cut Lego, children, but this is the only option I've got at the moment. I mean, I could buy some smaller plates to go in, but that's going to cost me quite a lot of money. So I'd rather give it a go. I'm going to try and cut maybe one of the smaller ones first to see if it works. If it does, I'll do the rest. If not, I'll give it up and maybe try something else. So let's give this a go. So what I want to do is I'm going to try and just cut one end of this this plate off. See how successful it is. Well, it's reasonably easy. Okay, that came off. I mean, it's not the best edge, as you can see, but it's come off reasonably okay. So what that should do now is that should now fit in this gap here. There's actually a little bit of extra space, which is fine. So we've now got a 15 wide plate. So let's do that with the other green one and this grey one as well. I have to say that's worked better than I thought it would. There was a little bit of cracking involved, but ultimately I've managed to get what I wanted to do, is fill a 15 stud wide gap with these pieces here. Now the problem that I do have is I don't have enough base plates to go all the way to the top. I do want to go all the way up. So what I'm going to do, these base plates here, I'm going to sort of spread out and then attach other plates between them to sort of push those over a little bit to fill in the gap. So I'll show you what I mean. So there we go. So what I've done is basically where I've had to sort of put gaps in here, I've just sort of attached them with studs. I'll be putting Lego on top of this, so you won't see any of this once it's in. Now obviously there's some quite big gaps there. I may see if I can go on eBay and get some cheap 6 or 8 wide plates perhaps, just to sort of fill the gaps in a little bit, but for now that'll do. I'm just using the pieces that I've got for now. It looks a bit of a mishmash and a bit rubbish, but I kind of get it sort of works for what I'm going to need in the short term, so I'm quite reasonably pleased with that. It's sort of gone together quite well, and of course what it's done for the first time, it means that this whole board now is attached together. There's a little overhang here, but it's nothing, that'll be fine, no issues there. So yes, I'm pretty pleased with that. So what I want to do now is show you what it looks like with all of the base plates and the road plates down, to give you an idea of the layout of what the city is going to look like. So here we have the proposed layout. As you can see, I've put the roads in. I've just sort of roughly laid everything down. Obviously you can see there's still a few gaps in between the roads there. But each of these sort of squares here, the larger squares, represents where a modular building will go. So you can see I can get 4 up the side there, 4 there in the middle. I'm going to have sort of a pedestrianised street up there, so I'm going to use some kind of tan bricks or something. Not quite sure what I'm going to use for the pavement yet, but that's what that gap is in the middle there. That's where the pavement's going to be. There we have it. So there's the police station in place. So as you can see, it's not much of a city at the moment, but you get the idea. Obviously the next thing that I'm going to have to do is figure out how I'm going to sort of raise all of this up, because what I want to do is have a distinguishable gap between the height of the road and the buildings and where the river is. I want the river to sort of go down a little bit as well, so I can create a bridge across here and a bridge at the back. Nothing too high, but just maybe about 3 studs high, just to figure that out. And then over time the plan is to keep doing a modular building, sticking it in place, and then filling up the city. So I hope you like what I've done so far with the city. As I say, it's early days. I've only got 1 building there at the moment. I've got a lot to do, obviously raise all of the height of the roads up and things like that, so I can maybe make the river area look nice. It's very compact. That was always the idea with the city, is to try and fit all the modular buildings in a very, very small space. I've got a lot of building to do. All the modular buildings need to be built. So I've only got 1 at the moment, the police station, but I do have all the rest. I do own all the rest. They're just in pieces and need building. So that's going to be, I'm going to look forward to doing that. It's a while since I've built some of them. and I'll just sort of slowly put them in the city one by one. So I think the next thing for me is to get everything raised up. I'm probably going to need a trip to the Lego store to buy some more pieces, to buy enough pieces to raise everything up. So that's probably going to be my next video in a while. But I hope you like what you've seen so far. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and comment if you've got any suggestions or ideas, much appreciated. And as always, thank you for watching and take care.